Click the links for Odysee and BitChute, or go to Coffee to get access to the weird stuff. The Spawn universe. I saw this and I thought, this is great. Then I thought, can COMICSGATE team up and share a universe? Right from the start, people start worrying about legal issues and profit sharing, but don't argue over peanuts now if you can team up and use them to grow elephants. Which is why when I see people bickering in COMICSGATE, I don't think that they're seeing the big picture. And no, I'm not talking about anyone in specific. I see people who are in our section of the galaxy, they're selling comics and books, who seem to be insane with rage over COMICSGATE. And also, I see people who are in CG, but they're in their own little subsections of CG, and they don't really intermix. I don't quite understand that. They all seem like there's a lot of real cool, reasonable people who don't do other people's shows. I'm not sure if they're shy. Honestly, I know it sounds crazy to say like 40-year-old adults are shy, but in a lot of cases, that's the situation. It's like, I'm not shy in chats. I always say hi. Rage doesn't help you move product. There's good excitement and bad excitement, and a lot of like this deep, dark, bitter stuff is not helping you sell. There are a lot of people that had issues with E, and in his defense, I think he has mellowed out since his initial panic attacks, and that's a whole nother thing. But even if he is a bit of a dick, and you know, who isn't, so what? The rest of us are totally awesome. Myself, I'm amazing. I am amazingly nice. To attack all of COMICSGATE is weird. Maybe there needs to be a new term, because I Love Comics, War Campaign, Preston, Antonio, Mike Miller, Tenaple, and a few others, they're all in this section of the galaxy, and I assume that they're not SJWs. Correct me if I'm wrong. Well, Doug Tenaple is definitely not an SJW. I don't think he's long for YouTube. YouTube does not like anyone who bravely and stunningly speaks truth to power. So I'm surprised Salty has been on this long. But they were looking for reasons to get rid of those guys. Preston Poulter has got a World War II comics. They look fantastic. So when I see him fighting, I can't wrap my head around it. You've got products that look beautiful. You've actually created something. You're a talent. You've got something. You're not just some spurg on the internet. Why are you letting yourself get distracted with red herrings? Take the chip off your shoulder. Meditate. Find your third eye, Jesus, Zen, Buddha, and pretend that everyone isn't out to get you. Many people are rooting for you and for others who've got this anger issue. We're not taking this stuff so seriously. We hope you all get over it, turn around, and just keep moving forward. And I actually think that the fighting has cost everyone money. I made so much dollars off this last year. Yeah, but it probably would have been double or triple. And stress and emotional energy, it's not worth it after a point. We're mostly 40-year-old dudes. Why are we acting like emo girls on their periods? We're out emo girling the emo girls. And partially, I think because technology has evolved faster than our biology, and social culture hasn't really figured out that a flame war on Twitter is not an attack on the village. We evolved the fight or flight, and that lizard brain is constantly at odds with the higher brain that is telling us to pause, be logical, ethos, pathos, and logos. Am I sounding like a pompous Zen ass who has their chakras aligned? Maybe. I'm as big an idiot as anyone else, but I do know that Twitter is a dopamine, norepinephrine, serotonin, acetylcholine, positive reinforcement feedback loop designed to keep you clicking passively, watching advertisements, click, 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 get outraged, seek redress of grievance, own somebody in the response. It's like being... there's so many things I can't say on YouTube. I was going to say it's being the smartest kid on the bus that is not long. Consume advertisements. Feel like you accomplished something by owning the libs or the magatarded normie soccer moms. Twitter is a useful tool to drive traffic. Fair enough. But if you can't handle it, at least take it off the phone and tablet. That way you've got to sit at the computer to post your links like a savage barbarian circa 1990. Back in my day, we had text message boards on 1200 baud modems, and the best video games were basically text-based choose-your-own adventure games, and they were awesome. Another thing about Twitter It's 80% insane cat ladies who are in desperate need of some daily orgasms with a sweaty man whom they love. They don't have a man to share pheromones with. They have Xanax, Prozac, box wine, and Mr. Fluffles, not the cat, their vibrator. Getting laid every day will relax you in a way that a dildo just can't. This Spawn guy looks like a guy who is focused on the future. Keep moving forward. If a scandal comes out, it takes oxygen to feed a fire. If you've got sex tapes out there, and who doesn't? That's what digital cameras are for, as far as I'm concerned. Keep moving forward. Just roll your eyes. Yes, I enjoyed kinky sex at one time. Big deal. And move on. Now it puts the ball in their court. If they keep focusing on it, it makes them look like weirdos. War Campaign has a lot of very funny guys, but they were doing dildo memes of Mike and Edwin for way too long. There is a comedy window. It is a week for dildo memes. You get a week. For Mike, I'm willing to stretch that. But still, after a while, it looks like you're the one who is really focused on penises and phallic objects. It's like, what are you really saying here? Spawn, and to some extent COMICSGATE, are exciting and powerful movements because they don't have the baggage of the years of Marvel's and DC's shift to woke, anti-blonde, blue-eyed man bad cultural Marxism. What if you could build a story environment free of Bolshevik propaganda? You can. It's COMICSGATE. Think of what we could accomplish if we work together like adults. When you are focused on growing a comic universe or a COMICSGATE movement, you don't waste time on Kiwi Farms. And like Kiwi Farms is its own form of cancer. All these things take time. YouTube is probably 90% of your audience. And Twitter does drive traffic, but it doesn't. I don't know if it drives that much. And at some point, there's a trade-off between, is it worth the potential negative traffic of having a bunch of Twitter weirdos try to get a channel taken down? You got to balance that off. You go, okay, well, $1 million, 10% of that, 100K, but it's like getting kicked off Twitter or getting kicked off YouTube. What does that cost? Like, you're going to switch to an alternative format, try to bring some people with you. In the long run, you look at it and you go, yeah, it might be better just to really get off Twitter, or at least avoid controversy on Twitter. And if you can do that, great. If you can't, like, you could probably hire an intern to release, or have someone in the family just release, use Twitter for advertising, but like once a week type of engagement, or I don't know. Like I said, do it on your computer, because people don't want to sit down on a computer anymore. Or you don't want to like just incessantly argue with, Nurkish, Mike, Doug, Tim Lim, who I love, Vicky, Preston, Roe, War Campaign, Antonio, and the dozens of others. And I'm not talking about anyone in specific. It could be anyone, literally anyone. Just create something great, and the audience needs to grow. You absolutely have to grow the audience. You don't want a situation where the comic book sellers are growing faster than the audience, which is what's happening now. It's fine to get more artists and writers in, but you gotta correspondingly grow the audience. Otherwise, you're just diluting the audience. Okay, so the book was announced back in February at the Animal Comics Pro conference, where he revealed the goal of the book is to create his own multi-character interconnected comic book universe. This guy is thinking big. McFarlane is not just trying to create a comic book universe, but Image Comic detailed. The long-term goal is that Spawn will become but one of many characters that will succeed not only in the comics industry, but in many mediums across the globe. Simple question is this: DC Comics started to share a universe in the late 1930s. Marvel in the 1960s, so can lightning strike a third time beginning in 2021? I personally do not have the answer to that question, but the only way to get an answer to that question is to make the attempt in the first place. Exactly. Throw stuff out there. You got to give things a decent time to stick. If they don't stick, they can move on to something else. But I think it's like everyone knows junk food is bad for you. Oh, I'm trying to lose weight. Oh, did you have an ice cream cone last night? Oh, well, yeah, if you can't eat ice cream anymore if you're trying to lose weight. That's not moving forward to progress. How much spinach did you eat yesterday? Oh, so I've got to eat spinach and not eat ice cream. Yeah, that's how you move forward. That's how you move forward. I don't know. Did this video come off too harsh? Like, I'm a really sweet person. And I'm not autistic, but I think I sound autistic a little bit. I'm just calling it as I see it. So I didn't mean it to come off harsh. I just want everyone, I want everyone to just be successful. Comics is not more than a business. It's like a passion project. If you're a real estate agent, an attorney, whatever you're doing, document review, that's not a passion project so much. Maybe you get an interesting question of constitutional law, perhaps, but not so much passion. Not so much passion as is portrayed in the movies. There's a lot of things that aren't passion, but creating art, it is more along those lines. So I feel differently for people who are trying to do this, trying to break into comics. Like, COMICSGATE made it possible for a lot of first timers to put something out there. And I know a lot of people crap on E, myself included, because it's fun. But he did his part in helping a lot of people. And I know there's a whole collection of anti-CG who look at him and just call him a big fat dick, because he can be. But you got to balance that out with, well, he gave a lot of people their first shot in comics. That just would not have happened without his assistance. So, you got to balance things off. And it's like, adults can do that. Adults can look at things and go, someone can be kind of a dickish in some regard, but they're human, right? Everyone's human. Anyway, comment, subscribe, go to Odysee, chute, and all the other sites. And do not go to the Discord. It is literally cancer.